Good morning. My name is Mark Lenci. I'm the skipper of Sunflower, and we're back in Maine with better weather now for part 2 of using your personal AIS and Dsc equipped man overboard device. Today we're going to cover the Dsc function of the man overboard device. So we presume you've watched part 1 of this video that shows you how to use the AIS man overboard functionality of your device, and we won't be talking about that. We are going to go through a lot of information. Recognize that most of this, once it's been programmed, you're only going to have to do one time, but it is rather complex, so we think it's important that you see all that's involved so you don't leave this for the last minute because you won't work before you head out with your device. It needs to be set up, loaded in your PFD, and ready to go. To do that, I'm going to turn that over to Sunflower's second in command, Tom Barnhart, which will take you through programming the Ocean Signal's rescueME MOB1 man overboard device. Thank you. Before Tom gets into the programming, I need to make the audience aware that the AIS capability of the MOB1 is going to work the same no matter where you are in the world. However, the Dsc capability will work differently depending on where you were geographically when you programmed the MOB1. The table on the screen shows how the MOB1 responds in various countries. For example, in Canada, France, and Denmark, no Dsc is allowed, and so only the AIS function will work in those if programmed in those 3 countries. In Germany, the Netherlands, Spain, and the United Kingdom, it's AIS plus the Dsc individual call. In the United States, it's the AIS plus the Dsc individual call, plus after 30 minutes, the Dsc group call. In the rest of Europe, it's the AIS function, the Dsc individual call, and the user can manually initiate an all ships distress call. In the remainder of the world, it's the full capability, which is the AIS, the Dsc individual call, and the all ships distress call, which will initiate automatically one time when the device is activated, and then you can the user can manually send the all ships distress call as many times as they need to. The way this works is the Ocean Signal's website was going to determine where your device is geographically when you download the software to program the MOB1. For example, when I was in the United States with my laptop, it would only allow me to download the software to program it properly for the United States. When I went to Denmark with the very same laptop, access the very same Ocean Signal site, it would not allow me to download any programming software because in Denmark, the Dsc capability is not allowed. So depending where the website thinks your device is when you download the software to program the MOB1, that's going to determine what software you can download and that the software matches the capability for the location that the Ocean Signal's website thinks your device is. So be aware of this. This is all on the Ocean Signal's website, and now we'll get on to the programming for the United States.
Good morning. My name's Tom Barnhart. I'm here on Sunflower. Mark Lenci, the captain of Sunflower, has done the AIS man overboard beacon devices and explained those, and now we're going to go through a Dsc capable man overboard device, specifically the Ocean Signal MOB1 rescueME AIS Dsc beacon. And now this comes with some pretty extensive instructions, and the website from Ocean Signals concerning this beacon is very good, and they have a frequently asked questions section that is very useful should you get into any problems. But first we're going to talk about what comes in the package, because you're going to need all those items. And one, you're going to have a clip that clips onto your oral inflation tube for your PFD. You're going to have a ribbon that is used to automatically activate. That ribbon will go around your inflation bladder of your PFD. We'll demonstrate that a little later. And now we'll go through some other aspects of the device. This is the arming lever. Whenever you pull that down, you can see where the word arm right here and the arrow's indicating down, so you'll have to push that down. You're now exposing a window and also a button that has a T on it. That's your test button to test the battery life, to test the AIS capability, that it's working properly, and also the DSC capability. The instructions are very good on how to utilize the test feature. This next section right here, you either push left or right, and that is what activates and deploys the coiled up antenna in the device to enable the transmission and reception of mostly the transmission and reception of your GPS. Alright, so whenever you get it, you're just going to get it like this, and then you have to attach the ribbon and this, and there are several sheets that discuss how to do that come with your device. And don't throw these away, and read them. They're very important. Alright, so the first thing, after you get the device, you have to program your boat's MMSI number into this. And there's a section in the book, in the instruction manual, called section 4. There's also a section on the website of Ocean Signal that explains the operation and programming of this device. One of the aspects that you need to understand, if you do not program an MMSI number into the device, the Dsc function will not operate. Alright, so one of the first things you need to do to program the device is go to Ocean Signal's website and download the software and load it on your computer. And you need to load that onto a Windows-based computer. There is also a capability to use it in a browser configuration, but I recommend that you download the software onto a computer. Okay. As you can see, this is the introductory screen, and this is where you put your MMSI. And for those of us in the United States, we can also program a group MMSI.
Okay.
All right, so now that you have an MMSI number entered into the MOB configuration for DSC initial screen, you'll click the Update Device button, and it's going to explain again the instructions on how to program it and show you all the various aspects of your device and what you're going to need to operate. Read these very carefully 1 or 2 times, go through them mentally, and kind of know what you're going to do before you hit the yes button. Alright, because once you hit the yes button, then you have some aspects that you need to do in sequence and in a, not a rapid order, but you know, a deliberate order, I guess would be the, and get going on it. All right, so in our situation, you have to do 2 things. Once you do this, you also have to take your device, and you're going to use a test button as it's described in the instructions, and on here, hold it to get some lights flashing in a certain order, and then you're going to put your optical cover, this little black cover, right over top of that. And in this demonstration, this is already programmed. I'm not going to activate the test buttons and get the flashing lights for you. So, but you need this black device, and you'll see later. So after you get, and you're mentally prepared and you understand what you're going to do, you hit the yes button on the screen. Now you're going to have another screen, and this white rectangle is your programming area. That will start flashing, and I'll show you what that looks like here momentarily. So you have everything set up, you're here, you hit your F10 function on your computer, now it starts flashing. You'll be holding your device right over top of that flashing, and it's going to go, and as you can see, there's a green progression bar that tells you keep holding it there until it's all done, and then it'll stop flashing. Pull it away, take a look at your flashing lights here, and it will tell you if everything's satisfactory. It'll go green and you're done. And To exit out of this, you just press F12 and you get back into the beginning of the screen. Now your device should be programmed, and now our next sequence we're going to show you how to install this on your life jacket.
Going.
All right, now that we have our Ocean Signal MOB1 program, and we have affixed the activation lanyard or ribbon, we can now install it onto our life jacket. In this case, we're going to install it on a spin lock life jacket. Now, there's two types of ribbons, and you should specify this whenever you're ordering your MOB or purchasing it. One is a ribbon that spin lock endorses and has spin lock on it, and the other ribbon is for all other life jackets. Now I have this device also on a Crew Saver life jacket, and that just has the other ribbon, and it's working just fine. So don't think that you need some very specific thing for your specific life jacket. Okay, so now we're going to do this again. This has to go around your bladder to automatically activate the device. So we're going to put it around here, and as you can see, make sure that you get, depending upon the life jacket, make sure that you're under grab handles or whatever that's on it, but make sure it's around your bladder. And you're going to clip the device holder onto your oral inflation tube, and then you will clip the device onto as you can see, it's very tough, so it won't come off. Yeah. Oh, okay, well, almost. There we are. Okay, so we're clipped on. As you can see, the ribbon is around your bladder, so that whenever your bladder inflates, it will pull this gray cover off. But first, to make sure that happens, take this little black thing, put it away, keep it, because you're going to need it if you reprogram an MMSI. You're now going to have your device armed with the arming lever down. Then this provided kind of semi-transparent plastic cover will clip over, and of course it says armed. It may not be apparent in the video, but it does say armed. You clip that on over top of that test button, and it holds down the arm device, and it also covers the gray piece. So what's going to happen whenever this inflates, the bladder expands, the ribbon it of course goes taut, it'll pop this arm cover off and pull that gray lever, at which time your antenna will deploy, and it'll be sticking up like this. Of course, what you want to do is whenever you're in the water, it's going to be should be perpendicular to the surface of the water. That's going to get you your best reception for your GPS. And that's all there is to it. Of course, you got to button up your life jacket and put it away. But you should also test this, and we are going to go test the device next, and we'll show you how it actuates on a DSC radio and also on the multifunction display of your navigation system. Okay, now after you've programmed your MOB1, you're ready to come out and do some tests, and as I stated earlier, you're able to do 3 different tests on here. We're going to test the Dsc function, and this is going to send a routine DSC call to your radio. So we're going to do that. Press that, hold it, it'll okay. There it is right there. It's alarm. It is sending a routine call to the Raymarine radio.
Okay, so that's our Raymarine call, and we're going to look at the information. You can see on the top here, it shows the MMSI of
9 72603-921, which is the MMSI of this device.
Right. And we can say it was a routine call from that. It does not provide us any position information, nor did it alarm the navigation system or the distress alarm on your radio. You've probably all heard the DSC alarms go off when you've been out sailing. So if this were not in the test mode, if this were in the actual mode, it would send a DSC distress relay call, which would cause your radios to alarm with that very loud dee-da, 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 dee-da alarm. And additionally, on advanced navigation systems, such as our integrated Raymarine system here, where we have a Raymarine radio and a Raymarine chart plotter, that DSC position and alarm would go onto the chart plotter. Displaying a DSC distress call position on a chart plotter requires two things. First of all, you have to have two-way communication between the navigation system and the VHF radio. Most boats are already set up to send GPS information from the navigation system to the radio, but not all boats are configured to have the radio send distress call position back to the navigation system. Our new Raymarine system, which has a Raymarine radio and a Raymarine chart plotter, has that integration in it. You'll have to check your configuration. Second, the chart plotter has to have the capability to display the DSC distress call position. So again, you only check your individual equipment to see if it's capable of doing this.
Okay, well, we've seen a successful test of the DSC function of our MOB1. Just a couple things on this. When we programmed that, we just entered the individual boat's MMSI. However, in the United States and our waters, you can also have a group MMSI. That may be beneficial for if you're floating with a group of other sailors, or maybe in the future race committees can assign a group MMSI. And if you would go overboard and the DSC would activate, it would send the DSC signal to your vessel's radio. 30 minutes later, if that group MMSI was programmed in, it would send out another signal to the group signifying that there was a man overboard. So this is the DSC capability of the MOB1, and I'm sure other units that have a DSC functionality operate the same way. But it's imperative that you test your device and assign it a correct MMSI for it to function and aid you in recovery of yourself should you go overboard.